There we go. Might as well view the stream while I do this. Okay. Hello, Marcel. Hello, everyone that could be watching this over recording. So today I am going to be discussing basic internet use, generally web searching, as well as how to keep yourself safe, ways to keep yourself safe, and ideally by the end of this we'll get ad blockers done, which you'll see are practical miracles of the internet. So, general internet browsing. The internet is a very, very great place in general, so you can find essentially anything you want on there. The problem is anyone can use it. So you really need to be aware of how to use it, how to be safe, how to make sure that you aren't risking yourself, exposing yourself, or anything particular. So I am going to go through how you can get started with this and how you can move through it. So initially, in fact, I might as well show this on the screen while I do this, especially since it's being recorded. So let's go here. So you should be looking at my screen now. Google in the middle. I would recommend for general use, google.com. You can use Yahoo, you can use Bing, you can use whatever you want, but Google tends to be the most reliable, and because they tend to be the largest search company, they tend to be the safest. So, let me just move this over here. Okay, so search engines are completely free services that allow you to look for things on the internet. This can be bad things, this can be good things. Let me do this in private. Okay, so let's say you wanted to get onto Facebook. If you had a Facebook account, you want to log in, you don't necessarily know the website or how to get there directly. What you can do is you can just type Facebook into the search bar and you'll see it. You'll see all the information about it here if you care about that. And you can also see the Facebook link. You go ahead and click that. You're on the Facebook login page. Same thing can work for if you want to see pictures of something. So let's say you wanted to see, think of a world monument. Let's say you wanted to see the pyramids. Let's say pyramids of Giza. Now this gives you all the locations and where it is in the map and all that fun stuff. Let's say you wanted to see the pictures. You can click on the images here. Now you can see pictures of the pyramids.
Connor, would it be possible for you to make your font a little bigger?
I can zoom in. Hold on. How's that?
Yeah, that's better, because I think that'll make it easier for them to see where, where the search bar is and that kind of thing, and the other stuff you're clicking on. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I just didn't see it or think of it even. Okay, so yeah, you type Pyramids Giza up here. This is the search bar. Click on images. You can see anything and everything.
So what is the difference between the search bar that you just talked about and the very top line right underneath the tab?
It's a good question. So internet browsers, in fact, I'll discuss internet browsers in just a second. The programs that you use to explore the internet are very, very clever. So this bar up here, usually you would only use it to type into a web address. So if I wanted to get to Facebook, you can just do facebook.com and it'll take you there. However, with something like Google here, this is only for searching. Okay. So if you want to type Facebook in here, it will never take you straight to the page. It'll always show you the results and you're expected to go from there. Now, here's the thing which explains why I think these browsers, these programs are so clever. If you just type Facebook up here without typing the full address, so if there's no .com at the end, it's just something, or you could even type "take me to Facebook." It'll take you to a Facebook login page, it'll take you to a whole bunch of things related to Facebook. Because up here, at the top here, the bar, you haven't typed in a web address. So if you haven't typed in a web address, this program automatically assumes that you want to search for something. So I could use the example I did before. Let's say I wanted to look up Pyramids of Giza. I could just type that straight into the bar, go to the images, here I am. So it's really quite clever. It's useful, it's very good if you want to find something quickly. And this really alleviates a lot of the problems we've had in the past few weeks. So I know we've had a lot of issues with getting to the Zoom website to log in. I can just type Zoom in here, click on the first result, I'm on the Zoom website. I can do the same thing with email. Let's say you had Yahoo Mail. I can just type Yahoo Mail here into the Google search bar, click Yahoo Mail. I'm on the Yahoo Mail website. So this is really why I wanted to discuss internet use and search engines this week. If you know how to use a search engine, you can find anything, even if you don't know the address.
So the only thing that could kind of put a monkey wrench in that, I think, is if they're going to Zoom that way and they're entering the meeting ID, they're still going to have to go through our Council on Aging registration page, which some of them are having problems with. Because that's just the way we've set up, not me, but we as a council has set up the registration process to get into our Zoom activities.
Yeah. So
if they go through Zoom, they're always going to have to register.
Yeah. So if you go through the Zoom website, you'll always have to register. If you have anything downloaded that you can use to join, I would strongly recommend that instead. But for general use, as kind of a solution to just solve everything,
right?
As much as people may disagree with Google a lot these days, it is very, very useful. So any problems, if you can type google.com and get here, you should be able to find a solution. So
hence the reason why they now call things Google it. It's now a verb.
Exactly. If it's a verb, you've made it. Congratulations. So
that's right.
Here's the thing with Google. I could name a few things off the top of my head, I'm not going to say which, that can take me to some very questionable places. Places that contain things you might not want to see, contain things that could be dangerous for you, either in terms of scamming or in terms of just giving away your information. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to give this general advice, and then I'm going to move on to ways you can avoid these things. When you are searching for things through Google like this, typically if you only type it here, you are fine. So if you were to type Facebook here, whenever you see these results, double check what you're clicking. If you type Facebook here, chances are, there's a very good chance, that Facebook will be the first result. If you scroll all the way down, you're going to the Facebook app, you're going to the newsroom, you're going to articles describing Facebook. It's a completely different thing. And if I was to go even further down the results, now we're just getting to completely separate areas with random articles, random social media websites. It's a very, very deep rabbit hole. So the best thing you can do when doing this, make sure you're on the right place. If you feel even slightly off about the website that you're visiting, let's say something doesn't look quite right, maybe something is asking for something you think it shouldn't, don't risk it. really, it's not worth the potential ramifications of it. If you think it should be fine, but you're not quite sure, I would highly recommend you ask a family member, because typically things like that are relatively easily spotted. It's just if you don't have the experience for it, you're not going to see it. So, one of those things that can cause those issues is advertisements. Advertisements are very predatory these days. They rely very much on collecting your information as a result of you browsing. That could be dependent on what websites you visited. That could be dependent on where you are located. They are fully capable of finding that out. And just so much information about you that you're not even aware is being collected. So if I were to, in fact, I'm just going to turn this off. Let's say I was to go onto a website. Let's say I was to go onto, let's do Reddit. Reddit is just a popular social media site. You don't have to worry about what's on the page. I just want to show you some of the ads that can appear. If they appear. Yeah, look. So on this page immediately, we have a big advertisement here for a random mountain club. Again, I have no interest in that. And we have an Amazon Prime promotion right here. So I don't want to see these. Depending on the websites you visit, Reddit is a very popular one, so they tend to be better with this. But depending on the websites you visit, depending on the things you see, they can get to the point of being very risky. And these advertisements can go to the point of saying things like, you're the millionth visitor to a site and you've won something. That's never the case. That is just a scam to get your information. So instead, something that people who are more aware of the internet content tend to do is they use something called ad blockers. So I just turn my ad blocker on, all of a sudden, there are no advertisements there. So this is something that I really want to encourage before you browse the internet. If you're worried about staying safe, if you're worried about precautions, having an ad blocker is likely the safest thing, the safest and best precaution you can take.
So can you give examples of the ad blockers and how you get them? Or
Yep, that's me on to that.
Okay.
So this actually loops back around to what I was saying before. The programs that you use to get onto the internet, so I'll give a couple of names: Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge, Opera, Safari. All of these fall under the term internet browser. An internet browser is a program that lets you explore the internet. So this right here, this program, this is an internet browser. I could also bring up Firefox. This one in particular is called Chrome. Each of them have this feature that more and more internet browsers are introducing these days called extensions. These extensions are basically add-ons that you can personalize. So let's say with your phone or computer background, you wanted to set a different picture. This is very similar in the fact you get to personalize it and do different things. So I am going to show how to install an ad blocker with Chrome very, very slowly. As we have the benefit of this being recorded, I'm not going to wait for other people to get through it. So I would encourage going back through the recording, seeing what I'm doing step by step by step, and eventually, ideally, you'll get there. So this is for Chrome. I will go through Firefox, I swear, and I will try Edge, which is the new version of Internet Explorer. I can't guarantee it will work entirely the same way for everything, especially for your computer, but it should be very, very, very similar. So, for Chrome, to install an ad blocker, and this is what I would recommend, you're going to go up here to the top right. You'll see a symbol that looks like a puzzle piece. You want to go ahead and click that. Once there, you're going to go all the way to the bottom.
Could you blow that up again? Could you enlarge that part? Because it's hard to see that.
I don't know if I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't blow this up.
Okay, so essentially you're looking for a puzzle piece.
You're looking for a puzzle piece. But for the sake of everyone seeing it, there might be another way. So, let's take what we just learned to find what we want. We're back on Google. We want to go to something called the extension store. Now, although it's called a store, typically everything's free, so it's not an issue. So let's say I wanted to look up Chrome extensions store and go ahead and press enter. The first result is the Chrome Web Store. This is what we want. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Here we are. Can't add extension. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, I'll do it through here. Extension store, zoom in. Here we are. This is what we want. Now, there are multiple ad blockers we could use. This is the one I would recommend, and I strongly encourage you to use too. It is called, this is just the name, you don't have to worry about why it's called this. It is called uBlock, or one word, space, origin. Now, just like Google, in the search bar up here, you're going to search for something, and you're going to press enter. This brings up the program that you're looking for here. Again, with search engines, you need to make sure that you actually have what you're looking for. This isn't what you're looking for. It doesn't even come close. This is exactly what you're looking for. So you're going to go ahead and click this. And quite simply, you are going to click Add to Chrome here. Add extension, it's just telling you everything that this extension can do with your information. So it can change your privacy related settings, change all the data on the websites you visit. That's because it's getting rid of the ads. That all seems fine with me. That lines up what the extension does. Click Add Extension. And right here in the top right, it's telling you exactly what's been added. And there you are. You're done. Now with that step, any and all advertisements you see on Chrome will be blocked. So that includes any ads that you see before on YouTube, those will get removed. Any ads you see on the side of Facebook, those will be removed. It will 99 out of 100 times keep you safe from potential advertisement predatory attacks. So I am now going to do the same thing with Firefox and then Edge, and then we can field questions and go through tech support as we go. So I'm going to open up Firefox and bring it to this screen. Now, just like we did Chrome, we are going to go to Google, google.com. Sorry, let me just turn this off. You can ignore these, I'm just doing this for the sake of demonstration. Go to google.com. Here's the website. It looks darker on here than it did on the other website, just because of how I've got it set. You don't have to worry about the colors. This is exactly the same. So here we are. We're on Google. We are going to look up Firefox, the name of the browser that we're currently using, extensions, store. So exactly the same thing what we looked up before, just replacing Chrome with Firefox. Press enter. Add-ons for Firefox, fairly close to what we want. I'm going to go ahead and click it. Great. So showing everything we can do. And I see up here with the magnifying glass is the universal symbol for searching. If you see a magnifying glass, you can assume anything it's attached to involves looking up something. So I'm going to click here, and it's wanting me to type. So I'm going to look up exactly what I did in Chrome. I'm going to look up uBlock Origin. It comes up for me. I'm going to click here. And just like I did with Chrome, add to Firefox. It's saying everything that it's going to give permission for information. I agree with everything here. Add. Quite simple, couple of clicks. If you follow those steps, go back in recording, you'll get there eventually. And then again, just like with Chrome, you're completely safe. So finally, the one that I would argue most people are going to use is going to be Edge. The Edge is the newest version of Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer does not support extensions. And these days it tends to be quite outdated. So if you find something called Edge on your computer and you don't have Chrome or Firefox, I would highly recommend you use this. So I am going to go to Google, google.com, exactly the same page. I am going to look up Edge, name of the browser, extensions, store, Microsoft Edge add-ons. This looks close to what we want. I'm clicking here. Again, as I said before, magnifying glass, the universal search symbol. We can look up here and we can look up uBlock Origin. Going to search here. Look, here it is again. I'm going to click Get. Just like it says on all the other browsers, here's what the extension will do. I agree with all those. I click Add. And it's now been added. Again, on Edge, any and all advertisements that you could possibly see are now blocked. You will mostly be safe from any attacks. Now, this isn't foolproof. This isn't 100% efficient. Some companies actively try to work around this because if you don't see your advertisements, they're not making as much money. So while this is a very, very good protection tool, it isn't 100% effective. As I've said in the previous weeks, you are the last line of defense. You need to be actively careful with everything you do. If you use Google and you look up things that you know you're familiar with, like I said before, Facebook, things that you're interested in, Pyramids of Giza, chances are those will be fine. If someone tells you to look up something strange that you don't recognize, just don't touch it. It is the safest thing you can do. If you're not sure, just don't do it. It's okay to experiment, just don't do anything permanent. Don't download anything, don't pay for anything unless you know absolutely what you're doing. And if you follow those rules, you should be fine, especially with everything that I just showed. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. Here I am. So now I would like to encourage questions. Marcel, Delphine, I see you just joined. Hello. So if you want me to run through personally how to install ad blockers or just any questions in general, go ahead and ask and I will do my best to guide you. Marcel, I can't hear you. You appear to be muted. if you know how to unmute yourself, there's a microphone icon on the bottom left of the screen. You can move your cursor down there. There you go. Good job.
I'm unmuted now.
Yes, you are. Well done.
Oh, well, I was saying I couldn't, no wonder you couldn't hear me. I can hardly hear you.
So do you mind going back through over that ad blocker again? I did just join in.
Of course. So, do you know what browser you use?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, so I'm going to say a bunch of names, and I want you to tell me which one sounds familiar to you.
No, I did, but it's
So, Chrome, Firefox, Edge.
Firefox is who I have.
Firefox. Brilliant. I can show you how to do that right now. Marcel, is everything okay with you?
yes, I think so.
Okay, so I will go ahead and show Firefox again. So let me get that.
So Delphine, you may want to have a pen and paper handy to write down the name of the ad blocker he's giving you. So in case you don't get it
Mhm.
right now,
Thank
you know
you.
what you're looking for.
All right,
Or
thank
you
you.
can go back and look at the recording. You're welcome.
Oh, so you have a recording. Oh,
Yeah, we're reading this so that we can, so that you can rewatch it or other people can watch it and get help as well.
great.
So, Delphine, if you're looking on Zoom and you can see me, you should be able to see my screen right now.
I do.
Brilliant. So, at the top of the screen here, as we've discussed, we want to go to google.com. This is the search engine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because we're in Firefox, we want to type Firefox because this is the extension we want. And then we want to look extensions store. Now, despite it being called a store, most of the things on here are free, so don't worry about payment, it's fine. I'm going to press enter. It'll search for it. This first link that we see here, add-ons for Firefox, this looks like what we want, so I'm going to click it. Here we
Uh-oh,
are.
I lost something.
Oh, go ahead. Tell me what you've lost.
Oh, okay, I couldn't hear you. But I hear you now.
Okay, great. So did you catch what I just did?
Yes.
Great. So we are going to look for a magnifying glass. This is the universal search symbol. Look around. Here's a magnifying glass, so we can assume we can search for things here.
Okay.
Now, the name of the ad blocker, and this is the bit you'll need to write down, is uBlock Origin. So you'll see the text up here.
Okay.
Okay, do you have that?
Yes.
Great. Go ahead and press enter like we did for Google before. And the very first result is the program we want. So we can go
Okay.
ahead and click that.
Okay.
And then there's a big blue button here that says add to Firefox.
Yes.
Going to go ahead and click that. This is just a confirmation that we actually want to add it. It's showing everything that the extension can do. It'll access your data, privacy settings, browser tabs, and browser activity during navigation. That all seems okay with me. I'm going to go ahead and click add. And that's it. It has now been installed into Firefox.
Awesome.
So with that, I'll just show you a quick before and after in case you weren't here. So this is Reddit. This is a popular site in which people just make posts in a forum style scenario. So I'm going to zoom in here to show this off. Barely scrolling down, and already I see a promotion and I see an advertisement. If I turn the ad blocker on, refresh the page, there's no ads. There's a live stream, which is part of the website, but there's no ads whatsoever. That's what I wanted to accomplish and to make sure you all had. Okay, any other questions? Anything at all?
So the question I have is the ad blocker that I have on mine is actually the red stop sign and it says ad blocker.
That
Opinions of that versus the one you use?
ad block. So ad block, when it first came out, was the creme de la creme. It was the best ad
Okay.
blocker you can get. However, in the past few years, there have been a couple of controversies with it, including AdBlock apparently selling information, as well as letting
Okay.
companies allow ads through in return to pay them.
Okay.
There's been no news of uBlock Origin doing that.
Okay.
So uBlock Origin tends to be the best recommended ad block in general.
Okay. And then the other question I have is there's certain times that certain sites say that to continue on or something, you need to disable your ad blocker.
Mm-hmm. No,
Can you talk about that?
So, as I touched on before, if you don't see the ads, companies don't make money. It sucks, but it is what it is. You're doing what you can to protect yourselves. If you see a website that says something like this, you can disable your ad blocker. It's exactly the same for every other web browser. Go to the top right, click on the uBlock Origin symbol, which is a red shield, and click on the power button here. Click on the spinning arrows, and the page will reload without the ad blocker on. This will only be the case for the page that you're trying to access. Now, here's the thing. These websites don't always successfully block them, especially with uBlock Origin. It actually has an anti-ad blocker feature. So if websites try to prevent you from using an ad blocker, that will fight that. It doesn't always work. So if you see a website that does that and you are 100% sure it's safe, go ahead and turn it off like I just showed you. But again, you're trying to keep yourself safe. If you think you can see what you want to see on another website, I would suggest that. But if not, and you're certain the website's safe, go ahead and turn it off. It's fine. I cannot hear you.
So what you just did, turned it off, is it for that website every time you go on, or is it just that way? Because I know like on mine, it says I can disable it for this website for this particular time. How does this one work?
So this one, I believe it does it for the entire website on its own.
Okay.
But you can specify time periods. You can do different subsections. But this will cover pretty much everything you need for that website. Everywhere else, it'll still be on.
Yeah, and I can't even remember what websites I was going on that asked me to do that.
I know.
Might have been
I think the Wall Street Journal does it.
Okay.
I know that's a common
Yeah, it might
one.
have been a newspaper kind of thing that I was on. Yeah, that might have been it.
A lot of news websites do it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Marcel, do you have any other questions with what he's shown?
No.
Okay. Does what he's shown make sense to you?
Actually, it's over my head with all of this stuff. I'm kind of lost.
It's okay. I can go through things again if you want.
Well, that's okay. Just go ahead because it's so much in there that I don't really understand. So just go ahead.
Well, so do you know whether, so can you check and see, can you help her check and see if she's got an ad blocker installed?
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you help her see that?
Marcel, do you remember how to share your screen?
Oh, you click on that, share the, down here at the bottom.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Go ahead and
Should I stop the recording for this, you think?
Uh, it
Based
would
on-
it would be good just to be safe.
Okay.